let's just start it a bit early so that you all can see me. Okay, so yesterday we had some problems, so that's why I'm starting a bit early. So just to check that if there is no problem, so we are going to start in the next 2 minutes. We are going to start in the next 2 minutes, and today we are going to complete our class-based React. And today is a very important day because today we are going to learn about lifecycle methods, and lifecycle methods are very important. See, people will say that okay, why is lifecycle method is there, and why it's a bit complicated topic, but it is very much required because when you are going to go to hooks, what will happen? There is something known as the whole of the lifecycle method will be changed by the use effect hook. Okay, so the use effect hook is going to replace everything there. Okay, so when it is going to replace everything there, you are going to see that it works in some different ways, and like component did mount way, it is going to work. Okay, component did mount way, it is going to work. Then what will happen? So what is component did mount way in a use effect hook? So people who directly learn functional means hook based React, they struggles with these things. So always the class based React is very important to learn, all even if you're not going to use it any time in your life, because it might be like that you're going to go in a startup which are crazy very good startup, and that startup never uses class based component because they had just started. No startup will use class based component if they have just started. But even a project is around 1 year old also, the class based component will be there, especially it is right this is very important case in the case of enterprise projects which goes for 10 years, 12, 15 years. This things goes for that time. So it will be a very good thing to learn a class based component because only the functional based component are not enough in those cases. And as I've told, when you're going to learn about the use effect hook, you need to know what are the lifecycle methods of component did mount, component did update, and all those things are there. Okay, so maybe yeah, we can start, but let me tell one more thing, then we'll start. And the attendance will be given at the end. Attendance will be given at the end. Okay. Yeah. And attendance will be given at the end. I've written that. Okay. So let me now share my screen. So this is something which we created yesterday, and it was really good thing which I created. We learned your that also style component. Okay, so now we will quickly start because we have a lot of things to cover today. So the first thing which we are going to do is the control component. Okay, control component are what? See, forms is a major part of everything. Almost everything, the forms is a major part. So what happens in React also, the forms are there, but there is a different way in which the forms will work. Okay, so we'll understand with the code. So let us do that, and I'll also tell what will be there. So let me have a Okay, suddenly. Okay, one sec. Okay. Am I visible? Okay, let me tell one thing. Okay, I think yeah, I'm visible. I was suddenly afraid because I was seeing something else. Okay, that I was not visible. Maybe I was visible. Okay, hope I was visible all this time. Okay, so sometimes something happening. Okay, here. Okay, so this is the label is HTML4. So instead of for, we have HTML4 because for is a keyword in class based thing. Okay, so that is there, and then we are going to have this. Okay, input. I'm live. I'm live. Keep on fluctuating. It is keep on fluctuating actually. Are you people able to see me? Okay. Are you able to see me? Okay, are you able to see me now? Please confirm on the chat. Are you able to see me? Okay. 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 Suddenly, I don't know what is happening. Suddenly, it is going in that loop and all. So something is happening with this streaming platform. Okay. So thanks all for telling that. Okay. So this input of ID is email is there. So in React, there is nothing like name or something. Name or something is not there, but there is something known as a value. Value is very important in React, and this is something which is very important. Value is there, and the value will be this dot state dot email. This dot state dot email. Why this dot state dot email? Because this email is there. So value you have to write in React. Okay, I'll save it. Now I will do this in the demo form. It will go here. Demo form. Demo form and do the demo form. Save it. So now see this email is coming. This email is coming. Now, okay, now this email is coming. Now let me type something here. Because I've given the value here. Value is this state.email. I've given the value. So let me type something here. I'm typing, but I'm not able to get anything. Although I've given the value, but I'm typing while I'm not able to get anything. So I'm good, Aman. So I'm not able to get anything because this is the problem with React. And this is something, because of that only we have this control component. The way to use a form in React, it's not that much easy, not that much tough also, but it's a different way. This is different from a HTML form and all. First thing is that I've used the value, but with the value also it is not coming. With the value also it is not coming. Why it is not coming? Because, okay, let me do one thing. Let me show a bit of diagram why it is not coming. Okay. So see what happened here. We have to use something known as on change here. On change I have to use. Why I have to use this on change? On change I have to use because what happens in React when this value is even if this value is changing, even if this value is changing here, this is not getting rendered again. We have learned this thing. This get rendered only it gets rendered only if we have some change in state and this will run again. So that is the only case when it will get rendered. Okay, so let us see how to do that. And for doing that we will have a on change handler. On change is a handler. It's not a React handler, it's a HTML handler, but in React we have to do as on change equal to this dot handle email change. So I'm calling a function this dot handle email change, and I'll call this, and let us have this here, handle email change, handle email change is event will go again. So in React always the event goes, and this dot set state email is event dot target dot value. So whenever the user types something, see what will happen now. Whenever the event, let me bring it again here, that diagram. Whenever the user types something here in this dot change email handler, this will go here because the change, the moment I type, even I type n, it will go to this change email handler, whatever is the function name here, and then this dot set state will run. This dot set state will run, and it will take that n. So the moment this dot set state will run, it will re-render this component again, to re-render this again, and then the value will get changed. So this is how in React we have to work. Okay, so this is how in React we have to work. So let us see whether it is working or not, and I'm taking it as a arrow function because of that. And now let me do and see, and it is working. It is working. It is working. It is working fine. It is working fine. So this is how you have to do it. Not a very big topic, but this is something which you always have to keep in mind. On change will be there, value will be there. This is how you do it in React, everything. So this is there. Now the next thing which I'm going to do is a text area, because text area is a bit different. So let us do the text area here, and then comma comment, and text area will be also like this, and then come here and 𝐈𝐍𝐓, and label will be HTML for comment, and text area will be there, and text area is there, but text area generally don't ends like this. Text area always have a ending like this. Text area ID comment is there, and value is this dot state dot comment, same like as this dot state dot comment, and we'll have another handle comment change. So we have to create this function again here, handle comment change equal to event, and this will this dot set state will be comment is that comment is event dot target dot value is like this. Okay, so this will be like this, and text area is there. Save it. Now this comment is there, and I can type here also, and type here also. So this is there. So now we are going to see the last thing here, because there is a checkbox and data box also, that you can check almost the way is same. We are going to see a drop down, how to use a drop down, and okay, we're going to see that now. Okay, how to use a drop down. So again with this, I'll have a div, and so that drop down I will have a something as language, and see here I will not have an empty string. Here I will have something as React, and have a React. Okay, so this I am having here. Now what is there? Now in the div I'll come back down here, and then here label is there, and language, and let us have the HTML for also. HTML for is language. Now we are doing the drop down. Okay, so select is like ID is language, value is this dot state dot language, on changes this dot handle language change, which we are soon going to create, and then we'll have some options. Okay, let me close this first, and then we are going to have the options here. Option value equal to React, React is there, and value is Angular, and Angular is there, and view is there. Okay, so this all three things are there, and see by default it's React is coming because I've selected here React. If I select here view, save it, so view will come, but I can select all of these things. All of these things I can select, anything I can select like this. I can select anything. This value we have already seen. This values are very different, which goes to the backend, which I've seen this earlier. This goes to the backend. Okay, so this is how control component are there. And now we are going to do the last thing here, which is submitting this form. So how to do the submitting this form? So after this div, I am going to have a button of type submit. Button of type submit is submit, and when we have this thing, we have a on submit here. In the form we have on submit equal to this dot handle submit. This dot handle submit is there. And okay, I have not even created this language change also, so let me quickly create this. I think I have not created. Okay, yeah, I have not created. So handle language change equal, again the same thing will be there, and okay, same thing will be there. Now this on submit we have to do. So on submit, how we are going to do? So this handle submit event is there. Here one thing is there, the event.prevent default is very important. Why event.prevent default is very important? Always need to refresh this thing. If I actually comment this out, and I just want to see the state right now. I don't want to see many things. Means most of the time you are going to pass this to the backend, but I don't want to see that thing right now. So I'll come here. What warning is coming? Okay, so that is there, and this, and let me make it to React, and then submit it. But it got refreshed, and when it get refreshed, all the value will be gone. And refreshing in React is a very bad thing. Literally, it's a very bad thing. It is bad thing in JavaScript also. It is bad thing here also. It is this behavior comes from PHP world. Earlier days, before 2010, everything used to be PHP. Nowadays, also a lot of government sites are PHP only. Backend is PHP. So this PHP required us to refresh those things. That is them. That is the default behavior of the browser actually. So we have to do this e.prevent default. Now I will do anything like, and this is like something Angular, and I'll do this. See, this is state. It is going like this. So it is going. It is taking all those things and it is going, and whatever you want to do with the data, you can do it after that. So this is how the control component are there. Okay. So now we are going to look into one of the very important topic in React, which is known as the lifecycle methods. Okay, lifecycle methods, and okay, lifecycle methods we are going to see. And lifecycle methods, let's start with some theory, and then we go away and go ahead of it. So a theory is required in lifecycle method, and this is one of the most important things which I'm going to teach now today. And so lifecycle methods, there are different phases in lifecycle method. One is the mounting phase, and one is updating phase, one is the unmounting phase, one is the error handling phase. So there are different phases. A React application actually goes through different phases. All of these different phases it goes through. So and most important of them are mounting and updating. Unmounting we are going to see when we are going to see hooks. Also we are going to come back to this lifecycle method when we are learning hooks. Why we are going to come back? Because hooks, we are going to learn hooks in a way like that. A class based I will show, then a hook based, how to convert it to hook based I will show like that. Okay, so that is there. So this okay, one sec. Okay, so the first thing is the mounting. I'm good. So first thing which we are going to see is the mounting lifecycle method. So these are different mounting lifecycle methods which we are going to see soon. And then we have a mounting lifecycle methods in an order it runs. So in an order it runs, the thing is that a constructor is there first. Constructor will run, which we have already seen the constructor. Then there is something known as static get derived state from props. We have not seen this, we are going to see it. Then render we have seen. Render is always there in a class-based component. Then a component did mount is there. Okay, this is something new which I have learned. So let us understand about all of these things. So mounting lifecycle methods, constructors are there. So constructors are a special functions which you know that it has been called whenever new company is created. Constructor is perfect for initializing state and binding event handlers. We have seen both of these things. This dot state, bind, all those things works in a constructor. Don't do HTTP request from a constructor. We are seeing. Okay, I need to call a special function super props. This is required to have access to this dot props in our component. Actually, this super props we do because we are going to we are able to access props in a React based project because of this only. Okay, can set state directly with this dot state only in constructor. Elsewhere outside we have to do it with this dot set state. This dot state only works in constructor. Okay, then we have the get derived state from props. And I want to say one thing, this is a really used lifecycle method, and in fact when React has moved to functional component, it has omitted this method. See, component did mount and all those things are not there in functional hook based also, but they have kept the feature of it and get derived straight to props. When I was using class based component, I'm working in React 1 2015. So that time we also don't used to use this get derived straight from props a lot. So that's why React, in fact, it is not there in functional component, but it is still there in class based component. And this is a rarely used lifecycle method. It is used when the state of the component depends on change in props over time. Need to return new state or null, and we're not going to see much about it. Okay. Then render is there. Render is the only required lifecycle method. See, I can omit the constructor also. It is not required to give, but it is required to give the render and read props and state and returns JSX. It returns the JSX. Okay. And don't change state or interact with DOM again here. Children lifecycle methods are executed after the render. And then there is a component did mount. This is a very important method because we are going to do API call with this method. So maybe today only at the end, if you have time, we are going to complete the class based component today. So we are going to do API call with this method. This method is been called once. It has been invoked after the component and its lifecycle methods are rendered in the DOM. Perfect place to interact with the DOM or do HTTP request. And children lifecycle component methods are executed after this render. So generally we do API call from this. Why? Because all of our application has been loaded, then the API call will be done. Suppose I'm getting a data from a post API endpoint. So first the main structure needed to be loaded, then only the API call should be done. So that's why component did mount, do it through the component did mount. And this is all mounting lifecycle methods. And now we are going to see all of this in a code as always. So let us open the code. Okay. Now I will have another thing, which is a parent lifecycle, a file, parent lifecycle.js I'll have, and here RCC parent lifecycle. Okay, so this parent lifecycle, now I will have it here. Instead of this, parent lifecycle will have, save it. Okay. So this parent lifecycle is there. Now let us have all those different things here. So first thing, I'm going to have a constructor. In the constructor, I will have a name is parent lifecycle, and I'm going to have console.log everything, so that I want to show what is the structure in which the order in which the control passes in a React. Okay, that is which we are going to learn. So console.log of parent lifecycle constructor. Then we'll have this static get derived state from props, and in that props and state comes, and then we'll have a console log which will say that it is a parent lifecycle method, and and we have to return null. It is very important to return the null here. And then we'll have component did mount. Okay, component did mount we'll have, and here also we'll have a console log parent lifecycle method component did mount we have. And the last thing is that we will have the render. In the render, let me say it as a h1 and parent lifecycle. Okay, let me do one more thing here. Let me do it not like this, means this dot state dot, and then I will have a console log here, parent lifecycle method render, save it. So it has been shown like this. Okay, so that is there. So now we have a lot of console logs. So let us see how it. I forgot to open this console. I'll close it and I will actually refresh it. I want to show the structure. See, the first thing which is done is the constructor is been run. Constructor has been run the first time. After that, the get derived state from props is run. After that, the render is run. And after that, in the last, component did mount. So it doesn't matter the order and all. This is how it moves in React. Component did mount will run at the last after the render also. So this is something which is very important to No. Okay, so and okay, so this is there, and we are going to do one more thing. We are going to have a child lifecycle method also, child lifecycle component also, because if a child is there, something different happens with this, especially with this component did mount. So we are going to have that also. I'm going to come here and child life cycle dot js or cc reading life cycle is there, and this render is there, and then do one thing, copy this all. So I just have to change it. Okay, instead of this parent life cycle, I'll have child life cycle at all the places. So name is child life cycle, this is there. Let me have it this as s2. So child life cycle render and all these things are there, all these things are there. And let me save it, and we have to call this child life cycle from here. So I'll come here, and after this parent life cycle, I'll call this child life cycle, but for this I will child life cycle, I'm calling it, but I have to have a fragment will be there. This fragment I'm having, and let us see I see it again. Let me refresh it. See, now the order is something which you are learning. Parent constructor, parent you get the data from parent render is run. Then after the parent render, what is happening? It goes to the child, and then the child constructor, child get the from child component did mount, child render, all these things runs. Then it even runs the component did mount of the child. Then only it comes back to the parent, and the parent component did mount run. So parent component did mount run is ran at the last, and that is sometime we will do the API call always from a top component. That is one of the reasons. Always do the API call from a top component and the component did mount. When we are going to do API call, I'm going to show how to do it with component did mount. Okay, so that is there. And now the next thing which I am going to learn is the updating lifecycle method. So this is the mounting lifecycle method. Why it is mounting? See, I'm not interacting with this application anymore. This is just now a static application. I'm not interacting with it. It is just it ran. But there is a different set of lifecycle method. This is something which is very important in React to understand. Different set of lifecycle methods which are there, which ran when we change something. Okay, and these are known as updating lifecycle methods. These are in this order. Why this happen? Updating lifecycle method. If I change the state in a parent component, or some new props comes in the parent component, then this lifecycle method runs, and they are a bit different than the mounting lifecycle methods. So this lifecycle method are this, and it runs in this order. See, constructor doesn't run the second time. Okay, but render runs, but constructor doesn't run. Component did mount also doesn't run the second time. Something new as component did update runs. Actually, all these are not that much important. Render and component did update is very much important. Then again, the get derived state from props also runs the next time. Then we have something known as should component update. Actually, this used to be a very important thing. Should component update used to be a very important lifecycle method, because sometimes React, what happens, it renders unnecessarily. A lot of things it renders unnecessarily in React. So we should not do that, unnecessarily render. So when I was working and as an architect and a developer, so we use in bigger project, we used to do this thing to speed up the project. See, bigger project becomes so bigger that even in React it will be very slow. So we can have something like performance optimization, that component will not render that much, but slowly this is also not required now. I'm going to show hooks, we are going to have a different way to do this. Okay, so decides where a component should re-render or not. This matter is mainly for performance optimization. Do not use HTTP requests again in the thing. And then render, we know what is render. Then get a snapshot before update. Again, this we don't use that much, so don't need to learn that much about it, but this is very important. Component did update called after the render is finished in the re-render cycle. Use a snapshot from account, get a snapshot, can be used to do HTTP request. This is something which is equivalent to component did mount, but it runs in the re-render stage. Okay, so now we are going to use this new things. Okay, and new things we are going to use how. So I'm here, let us do the code for that. So we just got 3 new methods, so let us use those 3 methods here after this. And should component update and is there, and console.log parent lifecycle method should component update, and we have to return true. It is very important to return true, or it doesn't component doesn't run in this. Okay, so that get snapshot before update and previous state and these things will be there. And here also we'll have this parent lifecycle method and all, and here also we have to return the null. And the last thing which we are going to do is the component did update we are going to do. And then here I'm going to have console.log and parent lifecycle component did update. But I need to change the state, or else this method doesn't run. So how to change this is, we have a have this name like parent lifecycle method, and we are going to change this. We kept it for a reason only. So here I'll come, and here after this h1 I'll have a button, and change state is there, and on click is equal to this dot set state name is EWD. And if you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. A lot of people see but they don't subscribe and like the video. Please do it so it can reach to more people and they can become a web app developer. Already I got one success story. One people has already become a full stack developer by watching my YouTube videos only. He's not from my paid batch, so that I think most of you know who are following me on LinkedIn. So I want more success stories like this to come out because it's make me very much happy, and this is what my aim is. So one person I've already become. I want more people to come out from my YouTube channel, from my YouTube. I see a lot of people who are coming to my YouTube on a daily basis. Like this, Prashant is coming daily basis. Aman is coming. Jagan is coming. I want you also to get a web developer job. See, a mechanical engineer get a web developer job, you can also get it. So that guy is a mechanical engineer and who got the job just by following me, creating the videos, updating on the LinkedIn and all. Okay, so this I have created. Now I will do one thing. I'll do all these things. So I'm just changing the state and name to TWD. I'm going to have these 3 things here also, child life cycle method, and here I will have control F and life cycle method are there. I will change them, save it. We'll directly see the way, means see again another thing is that I'll just refresh it. See what will happen. This is again the mounting phase. Mounting phase is coming. I will remove this. Now see here the constructor component did mount, all those things are there which we have earlier seen. Now see, I will change the state. It has changed to TWD. Now see a different set of lifecycle methods are run. Get derived state from props. Should component update has run. Render has run. Again get derived state from props. Should component update, render, and at the last this component did update. I think I made some mistake. Parent. Okay. It should not be parent. Okay, it should be child. That I was seeing why it is coming 2 times. And do again refresh, delete it, and change state. And see, it will come now. Child lifecycle component. At the end, the component did update, and there is no component did mount here. Component did mount was there. Here, component did mount is there when you change the state, but change the state, it didn't run. It only ran the first time when the component is been mounted. So that is it. That's why it is known as a mounting state. Mounting state is known as. It doesn't run when we change the state or the props. It doesn't run at that time. Component. So this is some different things there. And one thing I want to tell right now only, in the React world, there are only 2-3 important lifecycle methods. One is the C. We are never going to use this. We are never going to use this. We are never going to use this. Component did mount is very important. So I will tell all the things. Constructor, anyways, in class basis it is important, but functional we don't have constructor. So component did mount is very important. Component did update is very important, and render again we don't have there. There is something known as component will unmount, which we are going to see later on. So I think I have this here also. Component will unmount is there. Something known as component will unmount when the component is unmounted. I cannot show the example right now because I'm going to show the example when we are going to do the hook based functional approach. Okay, so there we are going to see how the component will unmount works, and this is very important thing. So only 3 lifecycle methods you have to learn. If you're not understanding much here, we are going to cover this topic again in the functional component. Okay, understand at that time. So as we have to do a lot of things, we are going to move a bit faster. So now the next thing which you are going to learn is the refs. See, all this code which you have seen, means this dot state and the demo form and all which we have seen. So we are using a state a lot, and this is different from your normal HTML. It is totally different from normal HTML JavaScript. And we are not accessing the DOM directly. We are just accessing something known as virtual DOM. That's why the code in React is totally different. See, this demo form, the code is totally different. We have a state and set state and all these things we are going to have here. Okay. So, but sometimes what happens, you need to access the DOM. DOM is very much powerful, very, very powerful. React DOM means HTML means browser DOM is very much powerful. It has got far more things than React. React has came 5-6 years back only, and DOM is there from the starting, and it has got far more things. So sometimes we need to access something in the DOM which is not there in React. Then in those cases, what happened? You have to in those cases we generally we access it through something known as refs. We cannot directly access it like that document.query selector and all. No, we cannot do it. So we have something known as refs. Although React team tells not to use this that much, but we sometimes require this very badly, and we use this thing. So suppose some library is there, it is not there. There are many use cases are there. Once you get into production project, once you get into the main projects, you are going to see that there will be use cases when you have to use the refs. So now we will understand the refs now. So let me do a refs demo.js, and here cc I'm having, and export default will go here, and refs demo. So this refs demo, save it. This refs demo will come here. This refs demo will come here. Come here, save it. So refs demo is there. Now we'll have an input box here. Instead of this, we'll have a input type is text. I don't want it like this. Input type text I am having. Save it. So this input box is there. Okay, input type text box is there. And now we are going to have this ref, and in the constructor, how to have this ref. Okay, so this dot input ref equal to react dot create ref. This is how we use ref. See, in the constructor I'm using this, and this is giving me error because this is not this with this state is not there. Why I'm doing this? Actually, ref is a replacement of a state. Ref is actually a replacement for a state. I'll show how why it is a replacement of a state. So this is the input ref I've done. Just thing, I don't need any state here. So this is our input ref is there, and react.create ref is there. And then I will use this ref equal to this dot input ref. I'm going to use it like this. Save it. See what will right now happen. I've used this much code, and when we are doing control component, we are seeing that we are having some code like value equal to something. We are not able to type anything, and we have to use all those things. This on change and all those things we have to do. But here I'm able to type here. So this is also shortcut. I know a lot of people who use refs instead of this dot state and all those things, which they find this code much more sweeter because I'm actually getting access to a DOM directly. This React team say not to use that much. You should not directly access a DOM. You should always access to the this dot state virtual DOM thing is there. So this is something is that you can directly use it like this. Beside this, you get access to a lot of other things also. Like in the DOM, there is something known as focus. With that focus, what happens? See, in this project, I will remove it. I'll click it. So it is coming like this. So if I click here, so this is known as focus. There is one thing in the DOM which we can directly give the focus with. That is not in React. That is in DOM. So I want that thing is known as a focus. So that thing I have to run, but I will run it in the component did mount. Component did mount I'll run. Why I'm running in the component did mount? Once the whole of the thing is been loaded in the DOM, and then I'll do this dot input dot current dot focus. Current we have to give always in the rep. But this focus is the main thing. So I'll save it and see, this is by default it is coming. If I refresh it, also by default it is coming. So this is one thing which we can do with reps. We can do a lot of other things also with reps. Okay, so that is there. Now we are going to learn about something known as context API. You will hear this term a lot, context API, and you will hear sometimes it is a replacement of Redux. It is not actually a replacement of Redux, and Redux I will teach next week. Redux also beginners to advanced will be taught next week. Redux is a very important thing because with Redux you can easily get a job. Means whenever you go for a React interview, the interviewer will definitely going to ask you that if you know, do you know Redux or not? That will be the question 100%. I also take a lot of React interviews and that is always a question. So what is this context API? See, in React what happens, it's a bit difficult to pass data around. Means data is passed like through props from one component to another component through props. But what if I have one use case I will tell. What if we have something like this? See, this app component is there. Using this app component and seeing this component C, we have to pass some data from app component to component C. I don't want and this app component to component C is like that. Component A and component B are also between it, so you have to pass through it. Component A and B doesn't need that data which I want to pass, but I have to forcibly have to pass through A and B. Suppose there are not two components, there are 100 components here. I have to pass through 100 components if I am using the props approach. So to solve this issue, there are two things. One is this context API, and another is the Redux. Redux, what happens? Redux, a central story has been done. Redux is a very big topic, so we are going to have one whole week for Redux. It's a very advanced React topic, but it is must for a React job because it is used in almost all production projects. React is a very small library. It gets ended this week only. But if you want to learn more, you have to learn all those things also, which comes with the library, okay, and Redux and all. So those things are there. So those things we are going to learn. So let me close it now, and we are going to see it how to do it. So first, let's see this problem and all. So I'll go here, and now I'm in the component. I'm going to create another child.js. I'm going to create, and it will be RCC child export default child h1 child is there. Save it. Then I'll have a rent.js again RCC. Now export default parent, and this parent will call our child. Let me have it inside like this. Okay, I'm going to have something more here, and I'll have the child been called from here, from this component, from parent component. The child has been called. Okay, now I will have a grandparent also. parent.js, grandparent.js rcc, and you might have guessed grandparent will call the parent. Grandparent will call the parent like this. Save it. And so it is like this: grandparent calling the parent, parent is calling the child. So now finally we are going to have this grandparent in the app here. Save it. So the child will be shown. So now what I want to do, I want to pass some data from this app.js to the child component directly without going into the grandparent parent. If I go the props way, I can do it easily by passing a props here, then passing the props from here to a parent to child. I can do it, but I don't want to do that. So we are going to use refs here. So what is this refs we are going to use here? How we are going to use this ref? So for that we are going to create another file. Although we could have done in the app.js also. The refs we are going to again cover in the your hook based React. Okay, there also we are going to cover. It will be almost similar. Something will be a bit different there. Again, the class based component will be not there. And there we are going to use it in the same file. We are going to revisit this again. Okay, user context.js is there. User context.js is there. And this is not a normal React file. So although import React from React will be there, and const user context is react.create context. So there is something known as react.create context. With this context has been done, and context always comes in two parts. There is a provider and there is a consumer. So we have to do it. I'll tell what is the provider and the consumer now. User provider equal to user context dot provider. Const user consumer is user context dot consumer. Okay. Then I'll export both of these things. Export and user provider and user consumer. I'm exporting it. So see, what is this provider? See, whenever you from some component, so it is in this, it is app, but from any component I want to pass some data. The provider I have to apply there, and any component I want to get the data, the consumer I have to apply. The provider you will always pass in this way only, and it doesn't changes. So I will have this grandparent wrap with the provider. So this is how we use the provider. User provider like this. I'll have, so user provider is imported, and then I have to wrap it. This grandparent will be inside it. Okay, and then I can pass anything like the props. But here one thing is there, the value keyword is there. So okay, value keyword is there. It is not like name or anything you can give. This is a keyword, but you can pass anything here. It is not like a string and all. Like props, you can pass anything. So I'm passing this value. So now I will go to the child component directly. See, I'm not going to the grandparent or parent. I'm going to the child component directly, and I can directly use that value, which is like a data, like a props. I can directly use that. So, but here to use that, the code is a bit difficult, and to solve that, I will show another code. This code is a bit difficult to do, but it is there. So I'll do here like this. User consumer. This is this pattern is known as the render props pattern. This was there in earlier in React, and this is a bit complicated pattern. Nowadays it is not used that much because your hooks have come. So user consumer I have done like this, user context, and then I'll come here and like this is user. See, this thing I can take anything. User I'm taking. Then I'll come here, and then so this is a very bad way to do. So I'm going to say the easy way also. So this return I have done, and then again this h2, maybe I'll have this h2, and then this user I can directly have it here. But a lot of brackets and all these things are there. This is known as render prop pattern. I'll save it. See, Nabendu is coming. Nabendu is coming. Okay, Nabendu is coming, and so this is how it is work. How it works. I can directly pass the data, and user I'm using it. But when we are going to show the hooks, we are going to see that it will get even more complicated if I have to pass another data. So this is a very complicated way, but there is an easier way also. And for that easier way, first I have to go here, and I have to do another default export also. I have to export the complete your user context. I'm going to do user context completely. I'm going to do. Now I will come here. I can do it in the child also, but let us do in the parent, because you understand that parent also I'm doing, means child also I can do. I want that code to be there. So this parent.js I am there, and after this I want to show that same data, this value I want it in the parent. So there is another way. In that way I will do import. The provider is always the same, but the consumer can be different. User context, from user context I am going to do, and then after that here static context type is user context. See, the problem with this approach is that everything is a keyword here. See, this context type is also keyword, static is keyword, and user context is also keyword. But the benefit is that I can directly use it like this. We don't have to have this all this complicated thing here, and h3 maybe h3, and I'll have a parent component is like this, and I can directly have this. Again, this is a keyword here, and this is much more easier in a functional hook based thing. Context in hook based, every concept of class based is there, because React is moving to hook based, and that is something which we are going to learn tomorrow, from starting on tomorrow, because we are going to complete it. So see, the parent welcomes. See this, I'm able to get this, and this is what is known as the static way. This is known as the other way. This way will never change, but I can do it in either this way, render props way, or I can do it in this way. So these are the two ways. Okay, so this this is there, and now we will learn the last topic in your React class base, which is due to API call. See, doing API call is actually very important, and this is one of the main thing which a front-end engineer does. They get an API from a backend person, and they will hit that API endpoint, the JSON placeholder endpoint. A lot of endpoints are there. But backend engineer is bigger person. They create those API endpoint, give it to the front-end engineer, and then they hit the API endpoint and get the data. So we are going to do that, and there are two ways to do that. Either you can use the inbuilt API of fetch, or you can use Axios. So what we are going to do, we are going to use a fetch right now, because the Axios we are going to see in when you're going to do the functional thing. Okay, we are going to see at that time. Okay. So what endpoint I'm going to use? I'm going to use this. There are a lot of inbuilt endpoint like JSON placeholder post endpoint. I'm going to use famous endpoint, and raw data. It gives me an array of object, all this, and we're going to hit this endpoint. Okay, so let me close this all, and here I will make a post list.js I'm going to have, and rcc support default post list. Yeah, and this post list I've had, but I have a lot of things here, because I have to wrap all those things. I don't want to remove this thing. Let me comment this out like this. And I will have this post list, and this is the ending of class base, but this is one of the most important of it, because this is what a front-end engineer does, hitting a API endpoint, one of the major tasks which a front-end engineer does. So this post list is there, and we are going to hit the endpoint. So for that, I will have a r const is there, and then here, see, the state you always have to mimic the way it is getting here. Here I'm getting an array, so I have to make it as post. So as an array, empty array, because I'm going to fill this thing. So empty array I will make. Now, as I have told, we are going to use that component did mount, because we have to do the API call with component did mount only. No other way to do the API call. Okay, so let me have this like this, and which one is list of posts I'm going to have. Then I'll have component did mount. but we're going to use async await here. We're going to use the async await here. So when you are going to use the async await, what we need to do, we have to make something async, and we will make this itself async. This component demand itself async, and now we have to hit this endpoint like const URL equal to like this, and see, and I have to use it here, and then const. So I'm going to use the inbuilt fetch API. We can use access also. In the fetch API, I have told it earlier also, we need to have await 2 times. So res is like fetch URL, and then I'm going to have this const post equal to await response.json I have to do, and then I can directly have this if I do the console.log of posts. Let me see whether it is coming or not. Save it and see, I'm getting all the data. I'm getting all the data in the array of object. I'm getting this data. I'm getting. So means our code is working. Now, right now we just have to show it. Right now we have to show it. So how to show it? To show it, this we are going to put in this post array. So how to put that in the post array? We are going to use the set state. So this dot set state of post, only post I'm going to use, because I should do this post like this. This is this post, this is this post. I should do this like this, but since we have a shortcut in JavaScript ES6 which I have learned, I'll do this post only. Now I've got this post. Now I just have to show it. Okay, and now I have to show this. Okay, and okay, this is the last thing. Okay, so let me give the attendance sheet also. Mark your attendance here. All of you mark your attendance here, and then so we have to show this post in this here we have to show. Okay, so let's show that, and here I'm come and do this thing. Okay, this I've done, and now I want to destructure this. I don't want to use this dot post, this or state dot post. I want to destructure it. So let us destructure it. Let us use all those cool ES6 features which we have learned earlier. So I'm destructuring it here. This dot post is I'm destructuring. Now I'm going to use it here. Posts. Okay. Then generally what we do, we generally directly we don't do it like this. Post dot map. I have to do post dot map. I will do this and here. Why I'm going to do it and first time React is very fast. API calls takes 1 to 2 seconds. So before that only the post will be empty. So it used to gives a lot of error earlier in React. So post.map and then post I will do, and I will do it directly here, and I will do h4 maybe. So map, that's a map is that much use. Okay, and then I'll do post dot title. I can show the everything, but I will show post dot title on, and this is giving me error because I have to do this. And I will give a key also, or else we have seen that it gives us error in the list rendering. We have seen it gives error. Okay, so post dot id is there. Save it. Let's see, all of our data is coming. All of our data is coming. All of our data is coming. So this is how all of the data is coming, and we are getting it from an API endpoint. This is how whole of the internet works. This is not like this. Just you're doing. This is how the internet works. If you learn this thing, you are easily at a job. This is what a front-end engineer does. This is how Amazon also get all the data. The back-end engineer makes those API endpoint, something like this. In that, the images also come. Like if you go to some endpoint, like I always give this thing. This is there a lot in my channel. Is there like there are some API endpoints, like free API endpoints. You can just check those API endpoint, and those gives images also like this final space API. You don't have to be a backend engineer. You don't have to be that. And then you go to this docs. You go to this endpoint and characters. You go. So see this is also an endpoint. this endpoint will give you images also. This images, you will get these images, and these images you can show it in an image tag. And this is how Amazon works. Amazon also works like that. Okay, Amazon also works like that. Everything works, the whole of the internet works like this. Can we give the key by other way? What other way? I'm not getting. Key is something which was coming from post.id, means key you always have to give, or else in the yesterday's class I have told, if you don't give a key, React will give you a very big warning. Key is something which is unique. In this, the post.id, the key is unique. So this is not, we are not representing this thing, we are only representing the post.title. If you go to this endpoint, you'll see what means id is a unique thing. Id is a unique thing. Id, if I go here, id is something which is a unique. That's why I give the id 1 2 3 4 5 6. So that's a unique thing. That's why I give it. Hope it answers your question. id is the unique thing which is there. So as I told, this is one of the most important code in React. This post list.js, if you understand this thing, you understand everything, because this is how a front-end engineer is going to work. Okay, there is one more way, means how we can submit those things. Those don't come that much, but that is there. So hope you all like today's class and all. Please, I still see only 4 likes are there. Still 8 people are there. Nobody likes this video and all. I really don't want to reach to more people. Please help me to reach to more people, so that more people can become a developer. As you all know, a lot of person are becoming developers by just by seeing my videos, and they also understand, means they also know means what to need to be done. As I always say, put it in your LinkedIn profile. After React is done, this is all the theory part is there. I won't be able to cover any project and all. But there are a lot of projects on my channel. Go to those projects and do those projects. Do those projects there, and then you can easily become a React developer. The moment you put 4 posts on React also, but you have to know 4 posts on React on your LinkedIn profile. Resume means all the HR people will start connecting you, because that happened to all of my students also, who continuously post. One of my students got 20 job offers. 20, crazy. It's crazy. It's like crazy. 20 job offers. You go to his LinkedIn profile. His name is Satish. He got 20 job offers. 20. He have to choose now where he have to go. So that is how crazy ReactJS right now is. You just have to do some ReactJS and you will get a job. So with this, I will end today's stream. Hope you liked it, and please do subscribe to my channel if you're not done. Tomorrow is very important. We are going to go into the functional component. Class base is done. I'll put the GitHub link also in the description. And tomorrow we are going to learn the functional, and function is small. 2 days it will be completed, and then you have to do a lot of projects. Okay, thank you all. Bye for now. Bye.